Do we do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
What? The fun?
Like, yeah.
I don't know. I think change it each time.
Yeah. Fuck it. Hello, guys. Why did you laugh?
I don't know.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kieran.
And I'm Jack. Aye.
That is, in fact, Jack. And we
That's
are
me.
a channel called Biosum.
We are allegedly.
If you didn't know,
No,
well, now you know. Yeah, so on today's podcast, we are going to be talking a little bit about ourselves, especially in...
Narcissists.
So we're going to be getting into our wrestling journeys. Now, this is a video which...
We're gonna do. I think we were gonna touch on some of this.
We was back in
2020.
In the Zoom stuff, we was going to
Zoom
talk
days.
about it. I think it was going to be the video after the looking back at 2021,
Yeah.
but then
We just stopped.
we just stopped. So yeah, like if you didn't know, me and Jack wrestle. So
I did. That's
Well,
gonna become important later.
That is, and I think that's why I kind of wanted to touch into the subject, like how we started and like to where we are now and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I think that obviously the journey kind of started for me is when I met you for the first time. Because I know that your one is kind of different for me, because like obviously I met you, and then that's when I found out about wrestling for the first time.
Yeah, and at that point, who would it have been? It would have been Sam, a friend of ours at the time, Dylan, and myself were doing a lot of backyard wrestling. So a bit of a no-no. That's where this lovely little thingy's got a little logo there. If you can...
The FVW Championship. Can you see it? I don't think you
Just
can.
about. Well,
Maybe.
it exists. That we're
Yeah.
not telling lies. But yeah, so I've been a big fan of wrestling for years, like probably since about 3 or 4, something along those lines. So yeah, when we met, you got into about 2013.
About 2013.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the story I always tell, because I've done a few other podcasts and they say like, oh, how did you do yourself as a wrestling fan? The story I'll always tell is that when me and you met, and it was like, you said, oh, who's your favorite wrestler? And I was like, oh, I don't know, the one with the hat. And he was like, well, The Undertaker. And I was like, yeah, sure,
That'll
him.
do.
So that's how I started. Like, I knew who The Undertaker was, but I didn't know his name.
Hat man.
Hatman. So that's like how I kind of started to get into wrestling, and like obviously I just kind of fell in love with it from there. Like my first match, I know a lot of people get pissed off there. Like other wrestlers, they always share this.
Wait,
like,
I mean, is it one you put a clip up on YouTube?
yeah,
It is the one.
I think it was.
Isn't it CM Punk versus Darren Young?
I can't remember if it's CM Punk versus Darren Young
I think it's Punk versus
or is
Darren
it
Young.
CM Punk versus Curtis Axel on like an episode of Monday Night Raw.
What a
It's one of the two. I'll future Kieran put it here somewhere so that I know which one it is. But that's the first ever match I watched, and then the second one I watched was Taker Michaels at 25,
Yeah,
which is like,
it's a banger.
why couldn't that be my first match?
To be fair, I don't even really remember mine, if I'm 100% honest. I remember it probably was something from around like 2003-ish.
Yeah,
Potentially.
wasn't your first thing like a pay per view you watched? Was it Armageddon? Or
The one I remember from when I was younger that I always, because me and my two brothers, were all big fans at one point together, and we always used to like go out and like we'd see a Dubs DVD, buy it, pick it up. And the one that I know they both bring up to me still to this day is 2 pay-per-views they bring up, and it's Armageddon 2005, which the main event was Taker versus Orton inside a Hell in a Cell to finish their feud from 2005, and then there's Vengeance 2006, which is main evented by the Spirit Squad versus DX, and they'll both, even to this day now, always bring that up. They're like, oh, I remember Vengeance 2006. I'm like, yeah, I remember Vengeance 2006, but I can't remember off the top of my head because I was very fortunate because I've had family members buy VHSs. That's what I mean. You can't really tell. I'm leaving my age ambiguous here because you're like, oh, he's got DVDs.
DVD by VHS. as
Yeah,
well.
like I remember. I think it was fully loaded. I want to say fully loaded 2000. I think, and the one of the things I remember. I didn't watch it obviously when it aired. I was only just conceived. So yeah, I just remember from that pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure it's like Rikishi versus Val Venus, and Rikishi does the dive off the top. that sticks out to me. And Taz's fucking entrance theme has been stuck in my head ever since that. And Taz's is just basically the Shields theme. Because the Shields is obviously and Taz's is yeah, every theme's the same.
Pretty much is, yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that was basically it from what I can remember from the early days. I remember watching Mania 25 with Dill. That was one of the first Manias I watched live. We were over his. We got to watch that match, and we both said, even since it was a pleasure to watch that live, the Taker and Shawn match. It was so good to watch live.
I was a fan at the time.
It was so good. It's genuinely. We watched that. We just both sat in the bed, and we were just like, "This is fucking incredible." It's the thing that sticks out the most in that show. Even though if you go back and watch, Cena versus Big Show and Edge isn't a bad triple threat either. The Triple H and Orton match is okay.
Yeah.
The step doesn't help it.
No.
It's like Triple H gets DQ'd. He loses the belt.
Sick.
And they're in a blood feud, and he goes into Orton's house and throws him out the window. That's exactly what I want in my blow-off feuds.
Yeah.
Lisa Thorne Iron Man match. Little inside baseball.
Yeah. We hate Iron Man matches, Kyle. My first Mania live, it was Mania 31. Because we was in
I
Paris
barely count that as yours.
Yeah, I barely count it.
I was watching it in the bath in France. Everyone else went to bed. Everyone woke up for the cash-in.
Everyone went to... Well, I fell asleep, like, a little bit into... I think I fell asleep during the... I know it sounds bad, the women's match. Which, to be fair, I was looking forward to because Paige was, like, one of my favourites at the time as well.
Yeah, it was the Paige and AJ
Paige
versus the Bellas.
Bella twins.
It was a good little match, to be fair.
I think I fell asleep only because...
To be fair, we'd been up all night.
That, and I think because we got the bus to Paris, which I can't remember, it was like 12 hours on the bus. Roughly around that.
You're probably going to put a little ding at the bottom now to say the actual time on the bus.
How long it actually takes to get there. But like from the top of my head, it was like 12 hours.
Yes, it felt longer because we had we went on the ferry as well over there.
Yeah.
So this is our story of France. This isn't our story of wrestling. This is our journey to France.
But it was a long ass day because we was up at like, what was it, 6 in the morning?
Yeah, and then you go to the park, the Disneyland Paris park,
and then
with the school.
Yeah, and then obviously we went back and then put Mania on, but the Wi-Fi was shit.
It was terrible.
We had to watch it in the bath, which was just...
And I stayed up. I tanked it out all night. I was knackered the next day when we were going back.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had a... Funny thing, we actually had an FE to do. It was... Yeah, because we usually used to do, so we used to just, it's kind of part knockoff of TNA. We used to have like a WrestleMania when we used to do the backyard. We won't go into too much detail, anniversary. And it was you and Sam, and then it was me and Del in a Money in the Bank. Because I was knackered. Yeah. I was absolutely worn out from the whole night. Because you did the entrance on the roof. Might actually have a clip of that, so maybe I'll splice that in. I think I know what that clip is.
I don't. Bam!
Bam, clip. Done.
Clip. Because originally when I started actually training, well, I'll get into that in a bit, I had no intention of becoming like an actual wrestler. Like I was happy doing the backyard stuff.
Yeah.
For ages.
It's just not sustainable though. It's just not, and it isn't. And don't get me wrong, my fondest memories from like my teens and childhood. Not to sound corny, but it's like doing the backyard stuff.
I think that was definitely a highlight for me because like obviously because we did it. Well, I did it when I was 13.
Yeah, because you had the first backyard match on my birthday, I believe. Yeah. We had that because we tried to make it a yearly tradition thing where we'd have me versus you on my birthday.
But no, like I think because I was doing it from 2013, the backyard stuff, from 2013 up until 2018.
Yeah,
like they are some of my fondest memories. Like I said, I think if we didn't really do that, I don't think I would have got into actually doing wrestling at all.
I can say the same and I can't because obviously with my current situation now, obviously we'll get into the training portion of it in a bit, but like I always wanted to do it anyway because I started backyard in
quite young.
I was like about 10 and Dylan and Sam were about 9.
Christ.
So yeah, we started then and obviously I think we didn't have the deck in at the time. Yeah, we wrestled on a deck. It was on the dirt.
Yeah, like it was like a little tarp or
proper
something.
Proper mud wrestling. We're trailblazers of mud wrestling.
Yeah, 'cause I remember it was like some sort of tarp like on the grass.
Yeah, so that was like around 2015.
Because that was their
Yeah, because you and Dill did our
torture chamber, which is like hell in a cell.
It's not. It's literally just a fucking old bed put up on a wall. But yeah, that was.
You couldn't escape.
You couldn't escape. To be fair, I think the last torture chamber we did was a bit better because we actually just got every random piece of crap we could in the garden,
like
put it around
the decking.
But yeah, it was a fun, like really fun time from like for me like 2009-ish at the end to about 2020. Well, not 2019. Arse end of 2019.
Yeah.
Just did the last one in the back garden.
It was like 2019 at the end.
Yeah, because that was just me,
mentioned
Jake, and that was Kyle as well.
Yeah, because we mentioned it in the last episode because it was just before COVID.
Yeah. It's got to slide us way into the videos, isn't it?
What, COVID?
Yes,
it
everywhere.
always it wasn't like a major factor.
Yeah, it took away 3 years of people's lives. But anyway, we will
with the
push
rest and stuff though.
Yeah,
that's I can tie that back in quite easily.
Yeah, you can tie that back, and when now obviously we go on to like all the training stuff and beyond.
Yeah,
you had a huge that impacted you and a lot of other people, wrestling on the independent scene and beyond quite a significant amount.
We'll get into that a bit later on there.
But that's later after the training montage.
But no, like obviously because you was training, because your first training was in like 2015, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think I was about.
It would have been a 16.
I went.
Time, wasn't it?
No, I went to. I think I went to Dragon Pro when there used to be. Where was it? Was it in the gym? Yeah, it was in like the gym next to a garage.
It was in Newport.
Newport, yeah. And it's next to this garage, and it's above a gym. And I went there the first time when I was about 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
But I got turned away, and they said you'll have to wait until you're 15 at least.
Yeah, but it's the same with like Mark Andrews.
I know Mark was wrestling quite young.
Yeah,
to be fair, from
if you don't know, he's a Welsh independent wrestler.
He was in NXT UK.
NXT UK Impact.
Yeah.
The first NXT UK.
First Welsh.
The first Welsh WWE champion.
Along with Flash Morgan.
Webster. Recently won the Impact Tag Team Championships, but as a recording.
TNA now.
TNA.
Yeah.
But they have lost it now. I can't remember who to, but they did have the Impact Tag Championships at one point, which again is cool, especially like for a Welsh person as well to win like championships in like these major big promotions. For me, it's so fucking cool.
No, it's great to see, that happening, because I think the only person who could have won a title before Mark, Flash, and Tegan.
Oh, what was his name?
Mason Ryan.
Mason Ryan.
Yeah.
That's him.
And he came up with, the Nexus, and they didn't do much with him.
No.
To be fair, I don't know if, I didn't see enough of him, because they didn't really ever... He went back to NXT briefly, and then he got released, I think. And now last time I checked, he's working Circus du Soleil, I think it is. I think I could have butchered the pronunciation. But he's working there now, so good.
Yeah, but like...
Good stuff.
Obviously now going into the trainer side, for me, because I've mentioned his name, Mark Andrews was a major factor of me getting into actual training. Mainly because I saw that at the time he was in Impact, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, if a guy from Cardiff can make it this far, like, what's stopping me?
Yeah.
And like, obviously, like you said, you doing the training, then I think he was kind of off and on with it.
Yeah, so when I started out, I did like 6 months ish at Dragon Pro.
Yeah.
And I stopped for a bit, and that was when all of the GCSE stuff was coming up. Just tried to be a good boy and put my focus on that.
Yeah.
Didn't pay off. So, yeah, no, I didn't do too bad, to be fair. But yeah, and then obviously, for me at least, that would lead to going to KPWA. I think you mentioned it to me. You said, I've seen this...
I don't think so, because I didn't hear of KPW before you mentioned it to me. You said there was...
You sent me a thing. You sent me a picture. I remember it quite distinctly. You sent me a picture of the flyer for it. And you were like, oh, I saw this. And I was like, oh, shit, I'll do that. And I went up the unit to train the once.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of a malfunction in the junction. And when I was training, someone fell on my knee.
Oh no.
And it hurt like hell. And then I was like, ooh, I'm going to take a week or two. And then they eventually moved then to the Llanarth Club.
Yeah.
And then, I went there for like a session or two. And then yourself and Jacob joined the fray.
Yeah, because you mentioned it to me, saying there's this place up where we live to.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's like... It's really
It wasn't
close.
even far at all.
No. Because it was just like a bus journey away, and it was like, we're there. So yeah, I started it because you mentioned it to me. But the whole thing for me was, I was like, all right, I'll do one session. At the time, I was like, I'll use what I can learn from this one session into the backyard stuff.
Yeah.
And then, I did the session, and I fell in love with it. It's just, I don't think I ever felt so comfortable, like, going into something like that so quick.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, I hate trying new stuff. Like, before the wrestling stuff, I was obviously doing the rugby stuff for years. I think I gave that up around 2016. So, like, for the last 2 years, I wasn't really doing anything. And, like, I just fell in love with it straight away. Like, it's one of the things I've always said to the coaches of KPW, Andrew and Luke, like, if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be, like, anything going forward for me. Like, I don't think I would have started on the wrestling journey at all. Like, obviously there's the other training schools and stuff, but I don't think I would have gone to them personally.
For me, it was always partly distance.
Yeah, travel was a major thing with
because it all started moving to the bigger cities where we live.
But yeah, I think obviously me and you were training them with KPW for a while,
along with Jake for a bit.
Yeah, Jake was there for a bit, but he stopped because of uni.
Yeah. He had to move away.
I can't remember where he was going to. Lampeter, that's it.
So to move away to Lampeter for uni.
He did.
And he was enjoying. And I've spoken to him a few times since, and he was like, oh, if I could go back. I was like, the opportunity's there to go back. It's just, like, I'll get into a bit later with myself. I won't go down this part of it at the minute. But it's like about getting in the mindset, at least for me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jay. You could correct me, yeah. But obviously, I don't know if that maybe is a similar thing, where it's like getting in the correct headspace to feel as though I want to pursue it fully and dedicate myself to it. Because, you know, like I said, I've had that issue many a times with different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so we all went, obviously.
Yeah, we were all training together. I think that's what made me enjoy the experience more as well. Is the fact I got to do it with my friends, like obviously the lot who doing the backyard stuff. And like I've already mentioned it to you, and I'll actually spoil it to you now. I do want to do an episode on the backyard stuff.
Yeah, so we'll try and get as many of the gang in.
It'd be
as
nice
we
to get some of the other people in as well, so we're going to need a lot more space and more microphones, but that's going to be A-okay.
We'll be fine. We'll get to that eventually.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure everyone might have a mic.
Yeah, it's going to be a future episode anyway. But yeah, like we were 3 months in, and then we got an opportunity very quick to do a
in
rumble.
the Llanarth to do that rumble.
Yeah, which I think for me as well is like some people telling me their stories and they said, oh, I was training for 18 months before I got an opportunity, and I was like, fuck, like we got that very quick then, especially for me, because at that point I was only like 3 months into wrestling training, and I was like, right, you can be in this rumble. And I was like,
well, it was a confidence booster as well, because it was like I'd spoken to a few of our trainers and been like, oh, so have you ever wrestled before this? I was like, no. I said, never really was given the chance to go out and have even be in a battle royal. He said, bloody hell. He was like, you should probably add one like 3 months in. I felt very flattered by that, even though it was just a battle royal. I was like, it's a bit of a boost to get a bit of a buzz, and you're like,
to push you that extra mile.
Can't wait. And then we had that, and that was the infamous night where, because Jake's going to play into this early portion quite a bit, Jacob had ring announcer duty.
Yeah.
And I was gutted because I still wish, like, if I could go back, I'd love for him to have been in it.
Yeah.
Because I reckon that would have been a joy.
I love the fact he announced though, because he got bullied to fuck.
I felt bad. I did feel really bad because the crowd had just like calling him Harry Potter and all that.
It was so funny.
But he didn't help when you did, unfortunately. There's one picture, I believe it exists, when he got the invisible microphone.
Oh my god,
He just put his hand out and goes,
because
ladies and gentlemen.
the mic stopped working, so he just puts the mic away, just gets his hand. But to be fair, it's probably because we did the FE stuff, and that's what we would do for microphones.
Either that, it'd be microphones that either be screwdrivers, my PlayStation Move, which is destroyed, or just anything like a stick.
It would literally be a case of, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest. But I think now it was such... it was nice to have the opportunity to do the Rumble so early on. But obviously moving on from that now, obviously as time went on and KPW was slowly closing the doors, which it impacted me a bit because obviously I was on about like wrestling at other schools as well, but obviously still doing KPW.
Yeah.
So I was gonna eventually join Dragon Pro, but then KPW closed its doors before or after COVID?
Before COVID, I think.
But yeah, not long after, it was still when KPW was a thing, I got an opportunity to travel up to Port Talbot, because one of, him, Big D, he offered a space. They said they needed spots for Rumble. And I was like, sick, yeah, let's do it. So I traveled up to Port Talbot with him, did the Rumble for this promotion. And it was weird because it's the first time I wrestled outside of like
the Lanark,
yeah, which is like, that was my comfort zone at the time, just doing like something where I knew my friends and family were there. Like I got to wrestle people I knew. So it was weird to then travel out a bit more and actually have to go out. But originally, before I went into the Rumble, they asked if I could do announcing, which after seeing Jake's announcing, I was like, shit, I'm gonna get ate alive. Because I think at the time I wasn't dressed for announcing because he literally asked me at the show. So I had a Wales rugby top on because it was obviously the day the Wales were playing rugby.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I had like shorts on and then compression tights on because that was what I was ready to wear for the show. And my wrestling boots on and my knee pads like all the way to the bottom. I just looked so fucking stupid. Maybe I can find like a photo of me somewhere. But yeah, so they asked me to do that, but they still wanted me in the Rumble as well. So they announced me as the announcer. So that was like my first gimmick in wrestling. Like
it's a powerful gimmick, that is.
The announcer entering the Rumble. So it was fun to do. I think it definitely helped me overcome like some of the anxiety in a way, performing in front of people I didn't know and wrestling people I didn't know. And then I was going home, and then Big D called me and was like, "Oh, there's an opportunity." So I was like, "No, I don't think I can. I've been spewing all night." They went, "Well, it was meant to be a Rumble spot, but now you're going to be in a proper match." And I kind of just like froze for a second. I was like, oh,
I'll have to throw up in the ring.
I have to throw up in the ring. So my first match, I wasn't well at all, but I was like, yeah, let's do it. Went up to Port Talbot again to the show. Had my first ever match, like proper match, which was a triple threat match. And there's no way I'm putting any footage in here at all from it.
Do it.
No.
Coward.
No. Because like in Port Talbot, I was getting a lot more opportunities on their shows. And then there would be other shows which I'd get opportunities on, like the Port Talbot show in Ronda. Then we were back in the Lanark for a kind of tie-in show from the company from Port Talbot in KPW. Then there was VCW now. But the opportunity just kind of like springing itself at me, which I was very grateful for at the time, because like it all just kind of came at once and I didn't really know how to react to it. But like obviously the stuff I've had, like the opportunities I've had, is just been like, oh, But yeah, like every opportunity which I've had kind of come my way, I've been very happy and grateful for it, because like I've said this to promoters as well, that everything that comes my way, I don't take for granted. Like, I'm always super thankful for what they've given me. But yeah, like there's not much to tell on my side of it. Like,
even less on mine.
you know, it's like I think that's why I kind of wanted to touch the subject with you about
this
your
is
story.
an invention for me. I don't have a problem.
No, it's, I really wanted to see like where your mindset is like after.
Oh, we're being put on blast. Yeah, that's.
So we'll go on to like your like experience with it then.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a journey. Yours is like a drive over to Port Talbot. Mine's a walk over to Tesco. That's the extent.
So we'll go on to your debut match then.
Yeah, so obviously got the Battle Royal, which was the first thing, and then the first like match, one fall to a finish, was the 6-man tag. Ronda, was it?
In Ronda.
Was it in the Ronda? Smokies. Was it Smokies?
Smokies. Oh, was this Smokies? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
Smokies.
I remember distinctly. So I remember it like back in the day.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Back in the day, kid, it was me. I was at Smokies. I was wrestling a 60-minute match with the boys and had a few cold brewskis afterwards. But no. So yeah. So I did the 6-man tag, and it was that was weird because I always trace my like slow decline out the door to like when I think it was when you did that first show, the Battle Royal, where you played the role of announcer.
Yeah.
So I was working at the time, and I just started this new job, and I got a new job, and I was like, right, I'm looking forward to this now. You know, get a bit of money behind me. I was like, that's great. That's very good at that point. And then I remember, I think I got a message from you like, oh, there's an opportunity. I'm gonna ask you if you can come along. And I was like, oh fuck, I really want to go. I was like, I just started this job, and it was like a kick. It was a kick in the proverbial balls.
Yeah.
But that was just like, for me at least, that was like a crack where it all started then.
Yeah.
And it all started kind of falling out, and, things weren't going exactly the way I'd planned or hoped. And I don't do much planning now, so you can imagine how the planning went. So, yeah, I did all that. I worked that shift. I know you told me afterwards, just, really good opportunity. He was like, if there's another opportunity coming up, I'll let you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm very appreciative of that. And it just seemed every time there was an opportunity coming up, I was working. Because it was always usually on a fucking Saturday.
On. Yeah, because I think the shows are normally on a Saturday.
Yeah, so they were on a Saturday, and my job was only once a week on a Saturday.
Because
so,
I want to say,
rough.
By the time you had your first match, I was like a good couple of matches in.
Yeah, because originally I was going a bit on from that now. So a few opportunities come and go, unfortunately. And then we were supposed to do this VCW show. It was the cross-promoted show.
Yeah.
And originally I was supposed to have a match. I was told initially, card subject to change. I know that. I'm not an idiot. But yeah, card subject to change and all that. Originally I was supposed to have a singles match. I was really looking forward to it. I honestly think if I had that singles match, we'd be having a completely different combo today. That's how much stock I was, at least in my mind at the time. I was putting a lot of stock in, like, this is it now.
Yeah.
This is the one where I do it, and my confidence grows to a point. Don't get me wrong, the match probably would have been shit from my end. I'm not saying I go out there.
Probably would have dead sold.
Yeah, well, actually, I don't dead sold. I actually get complimented quite nicely on my bumps and cells, but that's by the by. Isn't that right, Mike? But yeah, so I was supposed to have that singles match. I think you were supposed to have a singles match as well.
Yeah, that was meant to be
and then
my
the whole
first
card
singles.
got shook up, which was frustrating.
No, it wasn't even that. Show got cancelled completely.
I thought that was supposed to be the show where we had the Battle Royal with the VCW title on the line.
That was a few months after, because that show was meant to happen in October.
Well, there you go then. Card subject to change.
Yeah, so the show got cancelled altogether, and then we didn't do any shows for KPW up until that VCW show, which was in March.
Yeah, and
So like it was a good 6 months?
Yeah. And I think it was like, got to a point where I was like, I did a few shows here and there. Mm-hmm. I did a Ringmaster show, I think, about a Royal.
Ringmaster?
Ringmasters? Or is it Ringmasters?
Oh, Slam Masters.
Slam Masters, yes.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah, I did the Slam Masters show, did a battle royal on that. Finally got to have my gimmick name called out, which was nice. And then I changed it, so...
No reason why.
No, I gotta be honest, part of me, I won't go into too much detail on like the name I had. I had Damon Grimes at the time, and that was because I thought, obviously, Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, cool name.
Yeah.
Grimes is a cool name. And then I thought of another one when I was coming back last time, which I think I don't know if I went under.
I don't think you did.
No, I don't think so. I was getting ready to change that up just because I wasn't a fan of the Grimes name at the end. So I changed it to Damon Taylor in the end. So yeah, did all that. And like I said, there was a show here and there, everywhere on the odd occasion. But my head wasn't in it. My head hadn't been in it for quite a while since that first, opportunity I missed. Yeah. And it's especially bad at the time. Not to psychoanalyze myself, but if an opportunity comes and goes like that, I almost feel like it is partly my fault. Obviously, you could say, oh, you had a job and all that, but I'm still going to be my own worst enemy and be like, that's your fault for not going to that show.
Yeah.
And then I'm constantly in a state of beating myself up about that particular thing, when in hindsight, I know this now, the best thing to do would be to see it as a bit of a learning curve and be like, right, okay, so I can't do that show, but there's always going to be other opportunities coming down the road.
Yeah.
But I was at a point in my head where I just lost. The drive might not be the right word. I lost like the.
Would you say like motivation? Because I think
maybe drive and motivation could fit into the two then. So it's drive motivation, whichever verbiage we want to use for that, and also just that my head, I went in the right head space. Like a few odds and sods have happened over that period of time, and it was like a case of at least for me, felt like for those few years I needed to step back and reanalyze everything. Because, like I said, a few things have gone on personally, not the typical trying to be the always me, but in my head, there was stuff I needed to sort out.
Yeah.
I think at this point, I'm at a happy medium where my mental capacity for that sort of high pressure situations should be improved.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is, the weird part is it was all partly confidence as well, that I just lost the confidence with it all on top of everything else, that it was so weird because I could still go out and do a 45-minute to an hour long stage play with no issue, and I'd feel comfortable. Don't get me wrong, again, it was the same way even when I did the Battle Royals. It was like a constant like, oh fuck, because I don't, and this is a thing, and I know it's happened to me at a few shows I did, where I think people think I'm being ignorant, and that isn't the case at all. I'm quite quiet most of the time, especially in front of people I don't know. It was a bit of on and off because of a majority of things, but also at the same time, I've never stopped loving wrestling just as a whole. Like I still love it. I still enjoy watching it. I still enjoy talking about it. I still enjoy playing the games. I still enjoy anything and everything to do with it. I like to keep up to date with news and all that and stuff of that nature.
Even then, like when the local show up in the certain place, which we have a football team called after,
Up the boys.
Even then, you come to those shows to support, like. Because you said that you haven't missed one of those shows yet. No, because and that's what I mean. And I honestly think I just didn't want. Weirdly enough, it's like I didn't want to be around it at one point. I can understand. I didn't. Because it was like I'd always like get this feeling of I should be up there now. I should be. I should be at least. I should be pushing myself to be in that position, and it would always like irk me, not because of anyone there or anything like that, but I get like I said, I get to a point where it's like, oh fuck, I want to be doing this.
Yeah, but then it was nice because I got the most recent shows I went to, which you were on, and a few other people I know, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm still thinking that way to an extent,
Yeah.
but I'm also thinking, look, I'm there to support people I know, I'm there to support my mate, you know what I mean? And that's the main at the end of the day. Besides how I'm feeling about wrestling as a whole in that bubble, at the end of the day, it's got nothing to do with the fact that I'm going there to watch you do a show, or anyone else do a show, and it's fun. It's really fun to be, especially because I get to go sometimes with my other half, and then I get to go with some of the boys, and we have a good laugh. I remember that first show, the ones we haven't missed. I mean, me and Dull had a absolute blast at that first show when it was outside.
I can remember is like that show, but the last show when Jake turned up.
Yeah.
And literally, we've just won the match. I'm going backstage, and the fucking other time we were obsessed with 8 Crazy Nights, and all I can see is Jake just doing
technical foul.
And it's like, I
even held up a picture of Whitey as
I
well.
could see. Nice. I just kind of look and just look like
because you can see your face in the match, and you look.
Yeah, because as soon as I see them and they're doing the whole and they're doing technical foul, I just kind of look down, trying not to laugh because fucking corpsing and shit, and I just at the end
we're
of the
testing you. And you can do the same if one of us ever gets in the ring. Test the metal.
I just fucking walk into the back, and I just kind of cave in, look at you both, and just go. I just see both of them go, yeah!
Biggest pop of the night.
Biggest pop of the night, just from fucking technical foul. But no, going on, would you ever think you'd get back into it? Now, this is the hard question.
Yeah, no, this is the bit that I've been dreading, because I have been sent the rundown. So,
send the layout and everything.
I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know. Which is nice for me to say now, because I know for a while, especially during that period of time, I was always like, probably, or it might do. But I'm at a point now where I'm either going to straight up say no, or I'm going to say yes, which is nice. And when I say don't know, I know people are like, well, why the hell would you say don't know? Don't know because I've had the
it's all seeing
for a while.
It all seeing what happens in the future, though. No one can predict the future with it.
No.
It's there was even a time when I was like, do I want to do this anymore and shit like that. But I think as well, trying to come back after, because the last time you went to a session was with me, with an open session.
It was you and okay.
Was he there? I thought it was just me and you.
No, because it was me, you, and okay.
Okay.
And yeah, because I tried. I only remember because I tried a torture rack into a neck breaker on him, and it was okay.
Oh, okay.
And I enjoyed the open session we did there.
Yeah.
And just nothing came of it, and then that's why I've spoken again my other half, and we've talked about it a few times. It's like.
Because I know we've talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah, we talk about it quite a bit obviously off cam, and obviously when it's just me and you will be in a party on the PlayStation or something, and it'll just be like, what are you thinking? What's the mindset?
Where's your mind at the minute with it all?
Because that's what I mean. I think, to be fair, especially when it was that whole is he gonna go back? Is he not? It was always you and my other half, as I call them. I was always just give it a go, and especially them, and they've always been a big proponent of me getting stuff done. They 100% the driving force. Yeah. Because I remember I was I don't really want to go back and do a master's degree, and they were like, look, and not to go and dwell on this too much, but this is just the type of lovely motivation I've been able to have. It's just been they were like, look, if you don't want to go back, don't go back. Yeah. But they were like, don't keep saying, I think I will. They were like, you're holding it off. And they were like, if you're going to go back and do a master's degree, go back and do a master's degrry. If you're not going to, don't. They were like, whatever you do, I support you. And it's vice versa for me if they want anything done. But they're a lot more, trying to think of the word, they're a lot more if they focus themselves on it, they don't get distracted by anything. Which is one of the, an admirable trait, and also obviously it's got the drawbacks, but at the same time, it makes them a bit of a fucking machine when it comes to getting shit done. Yeah. You want them to work overtime and all that, and they just push themselves, and I admire that. But also at the same time, they burn themselves out, whereas I don't get much to the point of burning myself out. Yeah. But in a roundabout way, Yeah, I want to go back, but at the same time, I'm
I
not.
think the timing's got to be right with it.
But the timing's got to be right. But I've said this to you before. I don't want to wait too long.
Too long for
because if it gets to a point where in a few years' time, I'm like, oh, I want to go back now, and then I look at the inevitable my age and go.
But no, I'm hoping one day you do get back in there so we can have a little reunion thing with this. Like, obviously we've had the matches in the backyard shit, and I fucking love it. So one day we can do it in the fucking actual ring as well. I think for me it would be the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Because it'd be fucking lush to have a single or some shit, or fucking tag or what. I'd fucking love it. I think that would be, like I said, for me, an icing on the cherry on the top. Whatever the fucking saying is.
Cherry on the cake.
Cherry on the cake. That's what I was trying to fucking say. That would literally be it for me. Because obviously, starting the wrestling journey for me was obviously in the backyard. And obviously starting with you. And to have that then in the actual ring, for me, that'd be a fucking chef's kiss.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But yeah, you know what? I think we've talked about everything. And we've talked for a long fucking
A lot
time.
longer than I thought, to be honest.
Who knows? At the minute, it's currently, the recording's on 59 minutes. But, knowing me, I'll cut this the fuck down.
Probably, yeah.
We'll see how much stays in. I hope you didn't get bored of this.
I think this will be more interesting than the first one.
Yeah,
Bit more depth.
1000%.
Yeah.
But it depends which... Because if you didn't know, we're filming 2 videos in one day.
Depends what you want. If you want a in-depth psychological analysis of both of our characters, then this one. But the next one would probably be more up people's alley if you're looking for some casual watching.
Yeah. We'll see what happens after the next episode, which we're filming now. Which, at this point, might already come out. Or, this one might come out first. We'll see what happens when I get to the edit. So it could be a whole case of whatever.
This is going to be really confusing.
All I'll say is, ignore what the fuck I'm talking about right now. But yeah, I think we've gone into it a bit more, and I think it's nice to kind of express ourselves with this shit. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah. I've been Kieran.
I've still been Jack.
Have you?
Yeah. Kind of a thing.
Yeah, so thank you very much for watching, guys. Like I said, we're more consistent with the uploads now. Hopefully.
For how long?
I guarantee I say this now, and we're
Gonna come back to bite you on the ass.
Yeah. But we've got loads more ideas we're going to do. See what the fuck happens with the ideas. But no, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, see you in the next one.
Peace.
Bye! And then obviously we got to do the whole thing where it carries on after the recording and shit. And
yeah. I don't know. I don't think I went well.